That's right. For this week's main topic, well, we are through Thanksgiving. We are fully, even if you're the biggest stickler, we are into the holiday season now. It's time to start celebrating, start having some fun, that merry time of year where you can get out and enjoy yourself in the parks and at home, of course.
Right.
But one of our favorite things that we love to experience at this time of year is some of the many traditions that you can find around World Showcase and throughout EPCOT, right, Michelle?
Absolutely. I mean, any Disney park over the holidays is going to be really fun, beautiful, and the decorations. But there is something very unique about Epcot and specifically World Showcase that really helps bring the richness of what the holidays is all about and reminds us that there's so many variations in how we all celebrate together, but that it is a celebration
Yeah,
together.
it's a celebratory time of year, no matter what your ethnicity is, no matter what country you come from. There are things going on around the world, whether they celebrate official Christmas or not.
Right.
There are holiday celebrations, and Epcot's a great way to experience some of that stuff. And so we're going to kind of go through a little bit of that today on today's show, guided by Michelle, which is always a good thing.
I don't know. I mean, so this is not going to be like a fact-filled episode. We're not going to be spoiling what any of the activities or entertainment are, but bring them to light. Make sure that, if you haven't been there before and you're planning a trip, that you might want to consider some of these things. We'll also try to throw in some helpful tips as well. Now, I know that we're going to also bring up food. The holiday food is one of the highlights. We're focusing on World Showcase. So there's a plethora of food all around Epcot that's not included just in World Showcase. But for this episode, and to try to edit it because we don't want it to go too long, that's where we're going to put the focus.
And there are plenty of places where you can find out what's going on food-wise and so forth. Disney Parks blog is perfect, but other locations as well, other people who've written things up, all the bloggers, all the vloggers, they have their stuff too. So you can check out that information. This is Michelle's peek at what's going on, how you can enjoy some good Epcot holiday traditions around World Showcase.
Right. So we'll just be kind of focusing on some maybe recommendations of some of the returning dishes this year that we've enjoyed in the past, and also share some of the new ones that we're particularly interested in trying.
Very good.
I have my list. I don't know if you have some additional ones. You feel free to chime in, honey.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure. Talking food, I'm probably chiming in. I probably am.
And one of the things that's really cute about it is that they don't call them booths or kiosks. They're holiday kitchens around World Showcase. So that's really so cute. But are you ready to start?
Let's go for it.
All right. So the first thing actually that I'm going to throw out there as a tip is to prepare for this visit. You want to make a list, check it twice, maybe. I had to throw that in. But as you mentioned, the Disney Parks blog has their foodie guide, and it has they also have the entertainment list and schedule and things like that. But the main thing is having the prep beforehand can really save you a lot of key time. I mean, I know when you get into Epcot, they have the adorable little booklets, which we love. They're great souvenirs and they're very helpful. They have the listing by each of the areas and things. But speaking from experience, if you wait until you get in the park to pull out that booklet and start making your list, you're right then and there losing some valuable time. The other thing is if you're planning in advance, you get to see pictures of some of the foods. So some things you might say, oh, I don't know if I want to try that, but you look at a picture of it, you're like, I think I really have to try that, or the reverse. So the pictures can also help guide you. The other thing that's really key here is to have your priority list. Yes, you can make a list of through the flow of World Showcase, but there might be some things that either you or somebody in your party that really want to make sure they're hitting up, whether it's food or entertainment, and you want to make sure you highlight those because it's hard to get in everything at Epcot. I mean, you can do rope drop and you may get pretty much all of it if you're really rushing through, but this is more of a how can we experience some key things that make our holiday special?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would suggest is that, yes, you should do your planning ahead if you have the ability to do so. Again, Disney Parks blog is a great research. There are other
Hmm.
bloggers that put out great things as well. You've probably seen them. You know where they are. You know what your favorite is. Check them out too. However, should you happen to get to Epcot on the day of and you haven't prepared, which again you
Hmm.
should, the best option for you it is to get there as early as possible, because a lot of these holiday kitchens do not open till like 11 a.m. You
Hmm.
can get there a little early and maybe go and get into the queue, grab a booklet, get into the queue for something like Frozen Ever After or Ratatouille or Soarin' or some of the more popular
Hmm.
attractions. And then while you're there waiting in this queue, because even though you're there early, you're probably still going to wait at least a little bit there, or maybe you're early enough to go ahead and you're still waiting just for it for rope drop itself.
Hmm.
You can go through it with your family and then leaf through it. That's another way to approach it. But the best option, Michelle is correct, is to have that set out ahead of time so you don't even need to worry about it once you arrive.
Right. And part of that too is it's so much fun to plan, right? It gets
Mhm.
you excited about your trip even before you're out there. So, all right. So let's get moving, and we're going to start with the tree.
Mm.
Because it is spectacular. And we have, if you're watching on YouTube, we have a picture that we've taken both day and night. And it's just really spectacular to see that tree both ways. If you in the daytime, go up there, get close to it. I mean, it is a great place for photo ops as well, but to see the various countries represented in ornaments and other decorations there is really heartwarming. And of course, the very top having that angel that, really represents, world peace and unity. And I think that really captures that essence quite well. And then again at night, it's just so spectacular seeing it lit up, and you can see it from practically everywhere.
The trees, and this is yes for Epcot, but all the trees throughout, whether it be at the parks or the resorts, they're worth taking your time and really looking at. Yes, you tend to go in, you take it in, and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. You take it from a distance. Maybe you get your photo next to it. But to take a step back and just sit and really enjoy what they've done to decorate those trees and fit them to wherever they might be located. Like you mentioned there at World Showcase or at Epcot, how every country pavilion is represented within that tree. But again, it goes with all these trees that they find interesting, unique, fascinating ways to really sync up with what what the feel is for their resorts and their parks.
Right. It is a great way to just start that journey too,
Mhm.
to see that and really start getting the feels there. And like I said, at night, seeing it lit up as you're leaving, it's a nice kiss goodnight too.
Mhm.
So all right. The next thing that wanted to point out that you can do is they're bringing back the Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition Scavenger Hunt. I think I got that all right. Um, so there's like 13 different spots around Epcot that you can find some holiday traditions, and it reminds me, we watched it last night, the Olaf special where or I guess it was a Frozen special, but where Olaf's going around to try to find people's different traditions. And this is kind of a cute way to do it with that kind of activity. And then at the end, and what you do is you have a map with some stickers and you have to find them. And then at the end, you can turn that in and get a prize.
Yeah, it's a purchase one that
Right, right.
you have to buy the map to begin with, but it still is a fun, especially sometimes the little ones are looking for something extra to do while you're in Epcot. It gives them a little bit more something to do that maybe they don't appreciate. Some of the because let's all be honest, Epcot is more of an adult park.
Mhm.
Not that there aren't great things for kids to do there, but it is more of the adult oriented park. Finding things to keep the kids entertained while you're
Right.
there are great, and that's a fantastic way. And the kids at heart, of course, because I would do that too. I
Yeah.
would go looking for Olaf everywhere because I love Olaf.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, something that you can look forward to do
Mhm.
at Epcot. The next thing I wanted to point out to you is that throughout World Showcase, they have these holiday scrolls that they have, and it just gives you some additional information, sometimes about traditions or holidays or whatever. And just want to make sure people know that they're there to take advantage of looking again. getting yourself immersed into the holidays through every avenue that they provide. And these are really fun to enjoy throughout your journey around World Showcase.
Right. And it's great to explore some of the similarities and some of the differences of how they celebrate this time of year in these various different countries around there. I mean, yes, it's not the same as going actually to that country and finding out what they do, but it is a touch of it. It is a
Yeah.
taste of it, and finding out a little bit of information and appreciating it and seeing where some of your own holiday traditions may have come from a country. Of course, for many of us, United Kingdom, but maybe somewhere like Mexico or Norway. It just
Germany.
depends on where they may be from, where you may be from, and where these traditions may have originated. And maybe, even though maybe you don't have Mexican heritage. Thank you. Maybe you're not Norwegian, but sometimes some of those different things will have permeated their way into your traditions, or maybe you can see how similar some of those are to what you celebrate.
Right. You used the word that I really liked, and it's appreciate. And I think that's one of the things that you can really do and experience at Epcot like no other place is you can learn to appreciate some of these other variations or unique traditions that, are really wonderful in throughout World Showcase. So, all right, do have to bring up a little bit of food here. So I'm kind of going to go in a flow of World Showcase. Might be a little controversial my direction. But anyways, we're going to start first.
The direction is always controversial.
I know, but we'll start first at the entry part. So that's got to be universal for everybody. And that's at the Holiday Sweets and Treats Kitchen. And they have a lot of great things there. Here's a picture, if you're watching on YouTube, of their festive flight featuring hot cocoa from Joffrey's. It's non-alcoholic, but they do have some things that they offer that do have alcohol in them. But for this one, I just think it's beautiful, and you get to try different types of cocoa. So they have the Christmas sugar cookie hot cocoa. They have the gingerbread hot cocoa. And then they have the cookie butter hot cocoa, which they said has whipped cream and speculoos spice. Have you heard of that before?
Yes, it's actually used. They use it a lot. I'm going to use a brand name here. They are not a sponsor of this show, although we would love it if they wanted to be, because there's one opening up nearby soon. Trader Joe's has cookie butter, speculoos brand cookie butter.
Oh, okay.
Times, yeah.
So speculoos, I looked it up because I didn't know what that was, and it's a blend of warm spices. And there's it's like curry. People have their variations of what they include in it, but it's primarily cinnamon. It actually originated in Belgium and the Netherlands, and that they used it for their traditional cookies. But it also has like cloves, nutmeg, ginger, things
all
like
your
that.
typical fall/winter spices, which are delicious and wonderful, and some of our favorites for sure.
So anyways, that sounds pretty cool. I also think this is something that I think would hit Scott up.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Enjoy,
I love it. And I mean, it's been very Florida recently, where it's been very cold on some days and not so cold on other days.
Right.
But when you get it still is dipping relatively decently in the evenings. So this is perfect for as it starts to dip a little colder in the evening. Enjoy. Not that you can't enjoy this at any time of the day.
Right.
And some days it has been colder during the day. You can enjoy it, but perfect for a little evening treat.
That's a good point, honey. Hadn't thought of it. Very good. Have to remember that. Now, if you've listened to our show, and when we talk about Epcot and festivals, you know that one of the things we really look forward to is some unique beers, some full body, especially the stouts or porters. And honey, I don't know if you noticed that when you were looking at this menu at Holiday Sweets and Treats, but they have the Stevens Point Brewery Whole Hog Hazelnut Brownie Porter.
Oh boy.
I know.
Yeah, something we'll have to try. We love our dark beers, porters, stouts mostly, but porters as well.
Yeah.
That
hazelnut like brownie sounds
sounds
delicious.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty tasty. Definitely worth a sample, that's for sure. So so we'll enjoy that.
As I mentioned at this booth, you can also get some of the hot coffee by Joffrey's with like Bailey's, or they have a Buffalo Trace bourbon cream liqueur, or a Screwball peanut butter whiskey.
So. Now I did, normally a lot of times when they do these hot cocoa flights or whatever, they have an alcoholic version of that. Do they have that this year?
I didn't notice that.
Okay, so
I could be wrong.
I asked because I didn't see it, or
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it.
Right.
So I was curious because sometimes they do. So just
Mhm.
point that out. That you can take a look again.
Right.
Just as like we probably should because we need to do our prep because we're going to be out there in a couple weeks. But just note that going in that this is non-alcoholic
Right.
version of it.
Exactly. All right, here's where the controversy goes. Can you guess which direction I'm going to guide us?
I'm guessing if it's controversy, you're going to Canada for
Yes, I am.
because most people go the other way.
I know. Trying to be a rebel here. So in Canada it has one of some must do's for nearly every festival for us. The food at Canada is consistently really great, so we love that. But the entertainment is really great too, and very lively, very fun. They have the Canadian Holiday Voyagers, and they actually share some of their traditions through music and some storytelling, but it is a lively band that we really enjoy when we're there at the holidays.
Right. Canada is a beautiful pavilion. The gardens there are spectacular. It is wonderful. The buildings and everything. It fits. We've been to Canada many times, and it feels very. It feels like you stepped into Canada a little bit. There isn't a significant amount of things to do there, but the food is always wonderful. The ambiance is great, and yes, those performers. It doesn't matter what time of year, but yes, the holiday time especially, always spectacular out of Canada.
Right. Yeah. So it's a fun way to learn about
Yeah.
some of their traditions. Their food kitchen there is called the Yukon Holiday Kitchen. And I think we've found in the past their seared salmon with
Mhm.
butternut squash puree. It's maple bourbon glaze. They have fennel arugula salad. Is always
It's always very good. Yes.
yes, very great. The other thing I wanted to bring up here is they also offer an ice vine or ice wine. They call it. It's ice vine from if you think Germany. And that is something a really unique, special wine. If you have never tried it or heard of it, it first of all is very sweet. It's like a dessert wine for sure. It's higher in alcohol content, and the way they make ice wine is that the wineries, they harvest the grapes, but if they are going to make ice wine, they leave some on the vines to wait for the first frost. And then they pick them, and then it's more of a hand manual crushing and everything. So it keeps the sugar content and the alcohol content higher. It's really delicious, and it's a unique type of wine.
Mhm.
And they do offer it at this kitchen.
Nice. Maybe we'll have to sample some of that as well. Oh boy, between the beers and everything else,
You got to make several
we're
trips.
going to have lots of food too.
But just remember, ice wine is nice wine.
Here we go. I like it. That's nice. That's nice.
All right, let's move on to Great Britain. And this pavilion is also one of those that have beautiful gardens and everything. The way they do their storytelling and tradition is they have Father Christmas there. And he gives again some background to some real solid traditions that we've known forever, like mistletoe and the first Christmas card, things like that. So you definitely want to check that show out. But again, and we have a picture here if you're looking on you if you're watching of a teapot, a Christmas themed teapot with tea being poured. This is big. If you kind of see in the perspective the flowers and World Showcase behind it, it's spectacular, and they have touches like that throughout all of that pavilion.
Right. But then the poinsettias there and everything else. Yeah. And the tea garden that is in the UK pavilion, which is always a wonderful walkthrough, and you can pick out the different teas. Sometimes they even have tea tours there to experience different tea plants there. But the gardens are wonderful. The maze that's out back by the pavilion, what is the
gazebo?
Gazebo. Thank you.
Mhm.
It's always really, really nice and calm and peaceful place to sit. When the band isn't playing, then it's a great rocking place to hang
Right.
out. But it's just really a nice spot. And yes, one of your first celebrity sightings out there is going to be Father Christmas,
Right.
and which is always amazing during this time of year.
Yes. And it's just maybe because this is one of those, like you mentioned earlier, Great Britain, uh, a lot of the traditions that we know here, originated there. And so I think that's one of those pavilions where you do get a lot of feels,
Yeah.
when you're there.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to depend on what your heritage is on a lot of these different pavilions, how you're going to feel about them as you come near them.
Right.
But I mean, I have a lot of British ancestry
Mhm.
tied with me. I believe you have some as
Mhm.
well. So a lot of that is going to it's going to feel,
Connect.
it's going to be like a lot of what we expect the holidays to be like. That's not to say that we don't appreciate and do enjoy a lot of the
Right.
other traditions, but those are going to be some that are going to strike close to home to us and bring the nostalgia.
That's true. Good point, baby. All right, do you know what's just over the bridge, sweetie?
What's that?
France.
France?
France. And here you have another version of Santa, Père Noël, and he gives a great storytelling there. So we're not going to give any spoilers, but honey, I think you'd agree he's one of the ones that we found most entertaining, and that you could, even after his show is done, you can go up and get pictures, and we have a picture here of me with him. But
I'm going to stop you right there because when we got that picture, Michelle was out, like, talking about starstruck. Getting to see Père Noël and get a picture with Père. Michelle was absolutely giddy about it, and deservedly so. It was great. It's still one of my favorite moments from ever visiting Epcot, is the time getting to get the picture of you, the conversation you had with Père Noël, and then getting the picture, because you were just like, it was like the star eyes going. It was great.
That's so true. That's so true. Yes. I mean, again, I have some French heritage. It's also from Canada as well. So, but yes, I just adore Père Noël and love it. And I just love it being in that pavilion any time of year, but especially over the holidays. When we talk about food, they have at their holiday kitchen this year. It's a new one, and there's a picture here if you're watching. It's a macaroon. It's a gingerbread macaroon with spice filling, and I thought that sounds so
sounds really nice.
yummy. Yeah,
I might have to pick some of those up.
Definitely. They also have a turkey dish consisted of roasted turkey with mushrooms, pearl onions, bacon, turkey gravy, and roasted sweet potatoes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought one year recently we tried turkey like at multiple different holiday pavilions, and we found that the one at France was actually the best one. This is a new one. I believe that with what they're offering, it sounds similar to past ones, but I think there's something a little different.
Doesn't ring a bell with me, but
Oh.
your memory tends to be better than mine, especially when it comes to Epcot food. So I'm going to trust you in that actually happened.
Yeah, I think that we were doing it. We found, okay, Canada had a turkey, France had one. And somebody else had
the
one.
American Adventure. They almost always
did.
have some sort of turkey dish.
And maybe it was at where you can get the poutines, because I know they have a turkey one.
Oh,
there.
I know that there was a turkey poutine that one year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we tried
turkey and gravy.
We're like, okay, let's do a bunch of turkey ones. So, anyways, another new beverage that I saw that they have here in France is a warm mulled wine. So it says it's flavored with orange and cinnamon spices. It is served warm. That sounds like it could be really delicious and traditional, and
sounds very holiday.
Yes.
It definitely sounds very holiday. That's for sure.
Obviously, we're promoting that you want to see Père Noël, in my humble opinion, but also be sure to walk through the pavilion and check out the decor there. They really do a great job. They take these, they make very large ornaments and kind of cut the front of them and put like a diorama of holiday scenes in them that are just gorgeous. And it always surprises me to people watch there and see how many people just walk right by them and don't even look at them. I mean, they're
everything, unfortunately, at the parks. Yes.
That's true, but they are amazing. So take your time and really take a look at that, and it really has a lot of great feel for France and Paris, and the traditions of what their holidays look like.
I even go simpler than that. I mean, those are spectacular, but even the simpler, they have, some of these classic lamps throughout there. And then they put poinsettias of interesting coloring There are a lot of pinks, some reds, of course, but a lot more pinks and maybe some yellowish. And they're really, really beautiful if you really take a look at them. And if you can capture some unique pictures if you're around them
That's
as
a good
well.
point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. One of the things that we haven't talked about much, and I'll just mention it here kind of universally, is the photo ops. So during the holiday times, they do have some holiday, um, what do you call it, magic shots that are available. But also with some of the characters, some of the meet and greets, and like Belle often is there in her holiday attire, which is
Mm.
spectacular
Mhm.
as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love
you
it.
want to check out for those as well. All right. If you move just a little bit beyond, but not quite to Morocco, you're going to be able to check out the Hanukkah storyteller there in that area. And, this is a very entertaining show. I highly recommend it. And you do learn a lot about Hanukkah and their traditions, and the music is so rich and wonderful. Just love, love, love it. And, honey, I think you'll agree with me that there's nothing better than going into that area, checking out that entertainer, but also smoked salmon potato latkes.
Yes. Over L'chaim.
Yes.
One of our favorite. That is one of our favorite of the holiday kitchens for sure. Is L'chaim. The Reuben too, which I believe you have a
Right.
picture
I
of
was gonna
there for
say.
those of you watching on YouTube as well. But I want to go back to that storyteller because we're not Jewish. We're
Mhm.
not. But I love hearing the story of Hanukkah and how it's told, and I'm fascinating every time because it is not our tradition. It's
Right.
not, but I love learning all about it. And I think it's a fascinating, interesting tale to find out all about why they light those candles, those for 8 nights, and the story behind it is wonderful, and it's worth your time. It is really, really worth your time. Maybe you pick up some food first and go there, or you go to get the food afterwards. But please stay and listen to that story because it's phenomenal.
100%. Yeah, it's very heartwarming for sure, and again, the word appreciate. You really get to appreciate that cultural tradition that
Mhm.
that is associated with Hanukkah. Love it. Yeah. So, and yeah, I'm glad you brought up about the pastrami and rye because I thought you'd like that and
Mhm.
wanted to. They brought that back. I'm glad that they have that for the potato latke. Uh, we're recommending the one with salmon, but they also have one without, which
Mhm.
is plant-based. So you can
And
still,
very, very, we've had that one as well. They're both very good. We
yes,
prefer the salmon one,
right,
but the other one is very good as well.
yeah, it's yummy. I'm glad that they're not changing that one. I mean,
Right.
it's nice to have new dishes to try, but that one, please never
Yeah.
take it
Keep
away,
bringing some of the
Disney.
favorites back for
Yes,
sure.
exactly. So we're going to talk next about Morocco because that's what's next. And honey, I don't know if you remember what particular food and beverage we like enjoying at Morocco Pavilion. Do you remember?
There's that cocktail that they have there. I know that we get regularly. I believe it's fig, right? There's like
Right.
a fig
Yes.
cocktail that we enjoy getting. Sounds like we're drinking around the world all
I
the
know,
time. Now
right?
we've hit like 4 drinks already. There's a fig cocktail that we really enjoy. We space these out over multiple visits. We don't
Yes.
drink all these every time. We are not the drink around the world people,
Right.
but we do enjoy that fig cocktail.
Yeah.
It's unique and different and interesting and fun and festive.
Right. It's called the sparkling holiday fig cocktail. And there's also a dish that when we end up having to get, if we are with Scott, have to get a separate one because he will eat it completely. But that is the stone baked Moroccan bread with the assorted dips.
Dips.
They have like 3 dips that they have. And I think you would agree, we highly recommend stopping there for this.
And pairing those two together because that fig cocktail goes so well with the balance of those variety of dips in that bread. It is really worth it, and usually the lines aren't terrible there.
Right.
So it's something you can pick up. You can get a nice cocktail. You can get, and it blends really, really well together.
Right. So that one you kind of go into like the little restaurant area there back
Yeah,
there that you can
the
go into.
Tangerine Cafe.
Right. And so but yeah, highly recommend it.
Mhm.
It's definitely uh it's not maybe food that we would associate ourselves with the holidays, but definitely something to appreciate and enjoy.
Yeah, completely. Love it. Again, that's a must do for us for sure.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So then the next country that we're going to visit is Japan, and there they have the I hope I say this right, Daruma storyteller.
Mm.
She's talking about the Daruma doll and the Japanese customs associated with New Year's as well. But one of the things, and we enjoy her, she's very animated and
She's
love it.
great.
She
She's
is.
so great.
I know. The first, it's one of those ones. The first time I remember we saw her, I was like, "All right, we're here." I think it just timed out that she was getting ready to perform, but then like being blown away, like, "Oh, I'm so glad we did this,"
Right.
and that we didn't just walk past.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. I mean, again, some of these countries don't celebrate traditional Christmas, which maybe you do, or Hanukkah, or anything along those lines. It's something completely different that they celebrate. But they do have their own celebrations for this time of year or around this time of year. It may not be exactly meshed up,
Right.
but close enough to it that it's worth listening to the story and finding out and getting the information and learning new things, which are incredible and interesting and fun. And it's part of what makes World Showcase so amazing.
Exactly. I mean, I think, from when Epcot first opened, people really talked about and enjoyed the edutainment part of World Showcase or of Epcot, and this season really does that, really delves into that so completely. So,
Mhm.
and one of the dishes here, highly recommend, and glad to see they've brought it back, is the sushi tree roll, and I think you've enjoyed that as well.
So funny. I was going back to some old photos because they changed from when the sushi tree first debuted. It's changed to what it is now, which is basically it's a sushi roll kind of formed into the shape of a tree.
It's
When it,
multiple sushis.
right,
Yeah.
right. So basically individual pieces
Right.
that, it basically looks like a pyramid or a tree.
Triangle.
And it's colorful, it's festive, it looks like a sushi tree. But originally they had an actual sushi tree where their rice was actually formed in the shape of a tree, and then they put the
Oh,
fish
that's
on top.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot that was the way it
Me
originally
too.
was. But that was great too. They're both fantastic. The sushi, uh, for food and wine, they got away from the sushi
Mhm.
at this. I don't know why. I don't know why they did.
Right.
All the sushi dishes, we enjoyed the frushi even.
Right.
We enjoy the frushi. Definitely the sushi donut coming up here for the Festival of the Arts. And yes, the sushi tree. We love them all. So yeah, very, very excited to sample this once we get back to
Yeah.
Epcot to the Japan Pavilion.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. And the next country that comes after that is the American Adventure. And there obviously is so much to talk about with that. They have the candlelight processional there for sure is a highlight, and we've talked about that. We're not going to go into a lot here. But the food offerings are great. Now, they do have some returning food dishes, which we're thrilled about, that they have here. So it's the American Holiday Table Menu has the blackened catfish with Hoppin' John and comeback sauce, the slow roasted turkey, which we talked about before, turkey with mashed potatoes, green beans, cranberry sauce, and a little variation in a cookie that they've had in the past. This one is a chocolate cookie with Snicker bar pieces and salted caramel on it. They've had some similar, but this is a slightly variation into that version of the cookie.
We've found recently that whatever the marketplace is for whichever festival you're going to, that the American Adventure Pavilion has been regularly a hit, which doesn't seem like it should be, but it regularly is. And I know that, like you were mentioning, the blackened catfish and the turkey, those are returnees, and those were amazing in the past, and I'm very excited to have those again in the future. Now, I am slightly disappointed that they don't have the Snickers doodle coming
Right.
back. That cookie was one of our favorite cookies over the last couple of years that we would pick up multiples of and bring home with us.
Right.
Like we would make up a whole cookie stroll based on the Snickers doodle,
Right.
because we love that cookie so very much. Now, I am excited to try this cookie because this chocolate cookie that you mentioned, because it does sound very good. It's not the Snickers doodle, but it might be better. Who knows? It might be better.
Yeah.
I'm excited to sample it. We will definitely be hitting up this holiday kitchen for sure.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward to it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's like you said, the food has become at each festival very consistently good at the American Adventure Pavilion. Now, in addition to those at that Pavilion. They also have some of their other quick service menus are adding on some holiday food dishes to offer. Like at the Fife and Drum, they have the apple pie sundae, which is apple pie filling with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce and streusel. So it's all the best parts of an apple pie right in a cup.
Eh, not bad. That sounds
I
pretty good to
know.
me.
I know. Over at the Regal Eagle Smokehouse Craft Drafts and Barbecue, they're having a frozen gingerbread eggnog. So it has gingerbread syrup topped with nutmeg. They have a non-alcoholic version, and then their spirited version has Thomas 2 single barrel rum. And that's new this year. So, now one of the other things that you may not note within that pavilion, but to take a look at, is their Christmas tree has 13 lanterns.
Oh,
And
for
can
the
you
13 colonies. Yes.
exactly?
Nice.
So, just a little nice touch that they have there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Over at Italy is where we go next, and they have another performer there, and that's and I hope I say this right, La Befana. And she's telling the story of a kind-hearted witch who visits sleeping young children on the eve of Epiphany. So it's kind of fun that it's taking bits and pieces, or maybe our traditions are taking bits and pieces from that story. But again, another very high-spirited, fun entertainer for sure.
Every storyteller that you run across is worth your time. Stop and listen, find out their tradition, but also because they're entertaining. Not just, yes, you're going to learn something, but you mentioned edutainment. The entertainment part of that is there. I mean, they are all wonderful. They're brought in for a reason. They're great. Again, it's worth your time. You're there for the holidays. Celebrate the holidays and celebrate the holidays around the world and learn new things, even if you already knew, even if you've heard the story many times. It's worth taking the time and hearing it all again. And you might have noticed, you might even absorb something new that you didn't know from
That's
before
true.
or didn't remember.
And you might pick up a tradition you might want to start with your family. So, now at the Tuscany Holiday Kitchen, there they have they have a combo. It's not combined. You're not buying. It's two separate dishes. But one of the things that caught my attention was that they have fried pizza dough, both a savory and a sweet offering. So they have the pizza with chocolate like drizzled over it, or the savory one has pomodoro sauce, parmesan, and fresh basil. Again, it doesn't come as a combo. You'd have to buy them individually. The chocolate one is new this year, but it's something that you might want to try. Say, fried pizza dough is yummy, and maybe do a sweet and a savory tasting.
Fingers crossed for Italy's pavilion for their
know.
holiday kitchen this year, because man, something about Italy's kitchens, they just don't quite hit the mark, like the way maybe the expectations too high. I don't know what it is, but they just haven't seemed to hit the mark. So fingers crossed that this year is the year that we start seeing that taking place. For
exactly. Sure. Okay, so next we're going to move on to Germany. And this year they have a new entertainment there. And I'm going to try to pronounce it the best I can, Mitch's Advent Calendar Puppetry. But Advent Calendar is spelled a little different than what you would think. It's they call it a magical puppet theater adventure for the whole family. Now, we always talk about how amazing the use of puppetry is at Disney parks or cruise ships, etc., and how well it supplements the storytelling. So I'm very anxious for to check this out. I've been avoiding spoilers on social media of this, so we don't have a picture or anything, but definitely sounds like a new entertainment, a new activity to check out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested. Now, if we can get Scott to stick around, that's another thing. Like sometimes he doesn't want any part of something going on like that. But if we get the chance to, we'll give it a try.
Yeah,
we won't make him stay for anything.
Right,
but hopefully, you never know what he might like, and he'll enjoy it. But I know we would be interested in it for sure.
Yes.
Maybe even if one of us has to take him hiking down a little ways while the other one enjoys the story, and maybe the other one comes back and gets an opportunity another time.
That's true. Good point. So, but I do think it's interesting that it sounds like it's going to be really talking about advent calendars. And,
Hmm.
that's a tradition that, we all enjoy too. So, and again, I think we've mentioned how has a lot of traditions that are rooted there that we traditionally think of over here now
Oh yeah, well,
too.
especially
So
for me because I do have a lot of German
that's true.
heritage in me. A lot of our traditions come from our German traditions,
Right.
so I totally understand and
Yeah.
relate to Germany in many ways. Curious, did you have an advent calendar multiple times when you were growing up?
Definitely. My mom had us do advent calendars every year
Now you had
growing up.
you were a larger family. Me, I was an only child
Yeah.
until I had some step brothers and sisters. But for when I was really young, I was an only child. Did you have multiples, or did you have a family advent
Pretty
calendar?
much a family one, and each of the kids would take a turn a night too. And it was just a little paper one that you would
Hmm.
see a little picture
Right.
underneath the
That's kind of what
door.
I had. I mean,
Yeah.
they've become much more advanced now. That a lot of them will. Yes, you still find the simple ones that are just, yeah, what picture am I going to open up and
Right.
find? But now, like some of them are opening up and you're getting a little gift
Right.
with each day. So but and I love Advent calendars. I think they're fantastic. They're a great way to count down towards whatever big holiday you celebrate, and
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be Christmas. It can
Right.
be anything. Whatever you celebrate, it's a great way to do it, and you can purchase them. They're the pre-made ones, or you can make your own.
That's
It's
true.
not that difficult to make something like this. And whether you want to add gifts or whether you want to, it's a great way to count down to a Disney vacation for the holidays
That
as
is
well.
true.
And that could go for any time of year, by the way. You could do an advent calendar in the middle of June if you want to count down to a Disney
That's a
holiday,
good point.
Disney cruise, whatever it might be.
For sure. Oh, give me some thoughts
Giving
there.
Michelle ideas. Huh?
Yes,
That
yes.
should have been my tip this week.
Yeah, definitely. Y
It's
now
better probably than my actual tip. So.
well, then you can do both.
Yeah.
Um, one of the things that we've noticed at the Germany Pavilion with the festivals is their food booths tend to be very popular. So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're prioritizing. I mean, they have things that you would expect for Germany at the holiday time. It's the Bavarian Holiday Kitchen. They have pork schnitzel, cheese fondue, and a hazelnut Linzer cookie, which is part of the cookie stroll
Mhm.
with raspberry jam. All good food, but just to let you know, that is one of the more popular booths. So don't be shocked if you get there and the line is pretty long.
Yeah.
So
There's a good reason for it. It is very, very good, very, very traditional food.
yes. Now they have a beverage offering. It's not one that necessarily calls out to me, but I wanted to mention it just because it sounded interesting. And this is at the Summerfest stand. It's a warm apple cider. And I think I said there apple cider, which is like apple. But it has Jägermeister liqueur and
Jägermeister.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Obviously, you weren't doing your shots like I was when I was growing up,
No.
because even though it's Jaeger.
Jägermeister liqueur, and it's served warm. So,
Yeah,
but it
Jaeger. When the Jaeger comes out, you know. If you know, you know. When the Jaeger comes out, probably time to leave. Probably time to leave.
exactly, exactly. From there, you can go into China, and they have several opportunities of shows that you can watch there. So they have the Chinese lion dancers and the Siju trio, and um,
Those shows, by the way, worth your time.
yeah,
Do it. Do it. You may not think of China in the holiday season, but they have their own. Again, it's not related exactly to what we're talking about when many of us, not all of us, but many of us think is traditional holiday season.
right.
What we're actually celebrating kind of in the parks right at this time of year. It's not, but it's phenomenal, and it is around that time period that you want to learn some stuff, see a phenomenal, interesting show. Go to China. Go
Definitely.
do it. Do it.
Absolutely, 100%. They're bringing in like Lunar New Year as well into
Mhm.
their traditions. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with all of these, is you can plan ahead by looking to see what days, because not all performances are every day. As you get closer to Christmas, I think you see more of that consistency. But especially in China, is take a look because some of them may only be weekends until like Christmas week. Um, just check. You can check on the app. Even on that day, there might be something that was going to happen that they may have to make some changes. But when you're doing your planning, keep that in mind for the days.
Yeah, I'm going to give another little tip here that's going to be better probably than my actual tip. If you are lucky enough to be able to go to EPCOT for multiple visits during the holiday season, and they're not just weekends. If you can have a weekday and a weekend, I would suggest the weekdays, especially if you're going to be on there on a Saturday. Weekdays, hit up the food, the holiday kitchens, hit up the food during the weekdays, because not that it's guaranteed that the lines will be less, but it's a little more likely because a lot of more locals will also come and visit during the weekends. Right. So you get the combination of the people visiting from out of town and the locals coming to sample. So sometimes, especially on a Saturday, it can be really for especially a limited festival like this is, it can be tough. So get the food, and then when you come back and you're on there on the weekends, not that you can't hit up the booths, definitely do. But that may be your time when you really go and check out the storytellers and some of the entertainment that's involved. Because yes, there'll be people around, but they're going to be all going to try and get to sample this food. Right. You'll have a little bit better opportunity, if you don't want to wait in so many lines, to check out a lot of these holiday traditions around World Showcase.
Exactly. Good thinking, baby. All right. Next, we'll move on to Norway. And here they have another storyteller, another version of Santa. It's a mischievous, magical barn Santa.
I like that.
I know. So just again, a lot of fun in this, as we've mentioned over and over, but another version of Christmas storytelling that you won't want to miss is over at Norway. We can highly recommend that one.
Yeah, Norway's it's great, and it's just made for that time of year.
Right.
It's perfect. It's another beautiful pavilion.
Definitely. Sure. And it's a pavilion also where that they have the photo op where you can get a picture with Sven and Olaf, a magic shot with Sven and Olaf in there. So definitely something you want to check out.
Completely.
All right. Last but not least is Mexico.
You went the wrong way compared to most.
I know.
People will tell you, but yes,
here.
You should start in Mexico. But,
controversy.
This time we're going the other way.
Right. Exactly. This one is one that I always find blows my mind. And if you have kids, you definitely want to be checking out the entertainers over at the Mexico Pavilion. So they do the La Posada celebration. And they really bring in the kids to be part of that, where they do, and I don't want to tell their story, but where they do a journey. But they also bring out a piñata and dancing with the music of the mariachis, and it's just so great.
Mm-hmm.
This is one, though, where you really get more of the guests' involvement, especially kids, to come. They bring them in. If you're watching on YouTube, we took pictures when we saw this once before, but they bring kids in to do part of their show.
Right. La Posada is an amazing holiday tradition from Mexico that I love. It's not part of our tradition, but I love learning about it. I love experiencing the touch of it that you get there at the Mexico Pavilion. If you want to know what it's about and you want to get a kind of more interesting dive into it, and still in a fun way, watch the Three Caballeros. Because Panchito tells you the story of La Posada, and it's worth, whether the whole movie is something you want to watch or whether it's really a holiday tradition for you, that portion of that movie should be a holiday tradition because it's a phenomenal story.
Yes.
And interesting. And it warms my heart hearing that story every year. We just watched it just the other day.
Yeah.
And loved it.
Yeah, exactly. And also you want to make sure to get into the building at the Mexico Pavilion. Inside is so well decorated for the holidays as well. You want to check that out. And of course, we can't leave you without talking about their food. And that is at the La Posada's Holiday Kitchen. It's always chef's kiss. We love their food there. They have a couple new, all of them actually are new dishes in their foods that we're going to talk about here. Is the tostada de carne. which is braised beef tips, slowly cooked Mexican style atop the fried corn tortilla with black beans, crispy onions, and queso fresco. Yum.
Hmm.
The tamale de pollo con mole, which is Yes, shredded chicken and
From the
mole.
kitchen.
Yes, from the kitchen, in
Shredded kitchen
corn
chicken.
base. You can say that fast. Good. With mole negro, queso fresco, crema mexicana, slivered almonds, and sesame seeds, which I
Mm.
thought were good. I know a lot of people love their churros, so they have a dulce de leche churro there that is sprinkled with cinnamon sugar. And personally, I'm not a huge churro fan. I like them, but I sometimes prefer my calories from other dishes. But this one definitely looked really pretty good. I love dulce de leche also too. And they have an interesting margarita offering there. It's a chai mazing
Mhm.
chai mazing margarita with chai infused dulce vita tequila blanco, apple ginger juice, and chai liqueur.
I might try that one. That
Yeah,
sounds pretty good.
very unique sounding.
Mexico is always a home run. The only problem with it, it's because a lot of people start in Mexico, and also because it's right at the beginning of World Showcase. A lot of times, people are hitting that booth up. The line can be significant there on certain days.
Yeah.
You want to try and hit that one up early if possible. But man, Mexico, it doesn't matter what festival, it's always a must do for us because I can guarantee you at least one of those dishes, if not all of them, will be absolute home runs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, definitely would recommend that. So, anyways, that is our look at the holiday traditions around World Showcase, and hopefully, this has inspired you or made you feel nostalgic for maybe checking out some of these offerings or thinking about a time that you might want to come out to Walt Disney World to explore Epcot. It's one of the best festivals of the year, and hopefully you either learned something or we provided you something that can make your trip a little easier.
The Festival of the Holidays it used to be the Festival of the Arts, used to be the most underrated festival. Now I think it's very rated. It's become a favorite for many, many people. The Festival of the Holidays is now, to me personally, the most underrated festival in that you get so much from it in such a little time as far as food, decor. Then you get these entertainment, the storytelling, the amazing holiday feels throughout it in a variety of different ways. I love it, and I love this time of year, and I'm very excited to get out there and experience all of this once again. Yes, it's reason enough to find a time to or the ability to get out to Walt Disney World during the holiday season. It can be early, it doesn't need to be right around actual Christmas or Hanukkah or what, depending on when Hanukkah is, that
Right.
can shift a little bit, or whatever holiday you celebrate. It can be earlier in the year, but it's worth taking some time, getting your family together and sharing in these wonderful festive times, especially at all the parks, but especially at this park.
100%. I mean, even when we lived on the West Coast and we love Disneyland and the parks there are also beautiful during the holidays, but this was something that we would always make sure we wanted to try out because it was just kind of our tradition.
Every single Disney holiday, every Disney park does holiday time really, really well
Mhm.
with what they are offering, whatever it might be. Like for Animal Kingdom, the Merry Menagerie. It's
Right.
one of my favorite things in the world. But their decor is interesting, unique, and wonderful. Hollywood Studios decor, phenomenal, fantastic. And then of course Magic Kingdom, classic, right? But Epcot, as far as getting all that tradition and interesting holiday feel around it, I don't know. It may be my favorite part for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So really good job, Michelle.
Oh, well, thank you, honey. And like I said, hopefully this is something that you all found edutaining.
Hopefully. Hopefully. And that is our exploration of Epcot holiday traditions around the world.